the explosion of a flash grenade inside the Lint cafe, the rush of heavily armed police into the building, a sustained burst of automatic gunfire intermingled with more flash grenades, more gunfire, and the screams of the hostages as they ran to safety. As the situation stabilised, ambulance paramedics rushed into the scene with gurneys ready to deal with the casualties. They emerged also, some obviously seriously injured, paramedics giving first aid as they pushed the gurneys to waiting ambulances for transfer to hospital. Their emergency teams also had been on standby. Among the injured, a police officer, blood gushing from a head wound. Bomb squad officers, suited up in their heavy protective armour, moved into the building, responding to reports the gunman carried a bag containing explosives when the siege began more than 17 hours earlier. The first sign of the beginning of the operation to end the long-running standoff came when a young man ran from the building, hands over his head, the first of the remaining hostages to achieve safety. Moments later, more streamed out of the cafe, taken into care and marshalled by police. They'll be calmed, counselled and questioned over coming days as the full details of their ordeal emerges.
They're part of this investigation. We need to talk to them. They're being looked after in terms of their psychological needs at the moment. We'll then work with them, but at this stage they are being well cared for.
The gunman who held the city of Sidney to siege has been identified as 50-year-old Iranian Man Haron Monis, well known to New South Wales and Australian Federal Police, before the courts accused of being an accessory to the murder of his former wife. He is also accused of sexual assault. Monis also gained infamy after writing letters to the families of Australian soldiers killed in Afghanistan, accusing them of being murderers. Police say nothing could be done at the hospitals to save the lives of the hostage victims, a 34-year-old man and a 38-year-old woman. The third fatality is the gunman. 2 women are in hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and one of the police officers who took part in the siege-ending operation has shotgun pellet wounds to the face. The Commissioner says the Tactical Operations Commander made the decision to enter the building because of events unfolding inside.
They made the call because they believed that at that time, if they didn't enter, there would have been many more lives lost.
Police protocol in the wake of a critical incident also began immediately. The crime scene secured, teams of investigators beginning the long task of debriefing police and hostages and collecting the evidence that will make up their report to the coroner.
I'm concerned that there was a vicious, horrendous attack that has taken place in the heart of our city. And there are many questions that will come in coming hours, days and weeks.
Terry Galloway, Sky News.
Now, details of the 2 victims have been confirmed this morning. 38-year-old Katrina Dawson, a barrister, in fact a star of the rising star of the Sidney Bar. The Sydney Bar Association releasing a statement that one of our best and brightest barristers, mother of 3, Katrina Dawson, was among those killed by this man, this gunman, and just awful news. Katrina Dawson losing her life there. A number of expressions of support and sympathy to her family this morning. 3 young children without their mother this Christmas, and she was also one of the great stars of the Sydney Bar, as I say, a barrister in Sydney. And the other individual, Tori Johnson, 34-year-old manager of the Lint Chocolate Cafe. Now, we're hearing initial reports that Tori Johnson sought to disarm Man Monis, the gunman, at the end of this siege. He was then shot and killed, according to these initial reports. We haven't had those confirmed, I should mention that, but tragically, Tori Johnson, the young man, 34-year-old manager of the Lint Chocolate Cafe, he was the other innocent victim of the siege overnight.